Welcome back to the What's Cooking Show. Again, we have David with us with a Carrier Gaccio. I can't even talk this morning.
It's okay.
And he's cooking a very nice Italian meal for us. So, Dave, where are we at?
Right now, we're looking at, and I saved us some time here. This is quite a process, but the meatballs, which is very simple. You just want to get about 1.5 pounds of lean ground beef. And then what I do is I start off on another pot, and I take my onion, a little bit of bell pepper, and a little bit of garlic, and I saute that down, again, a little bit of olive oil. And then once it softens up and cools, I can add that to the meatball mixture, okay? And then I'll add about 1 pack of saltine crackers, which I'll put in a Ziploc bag and crush them up really fine. And I'll put that into the mixture. I'll add 4 eggs, which is a lot more than most people would. And then I'll put about maybe a 1/4 cup of milk in there.
Go ahead.
Season very well, and you can't really over season this.
Yeah.
You season it really good. I mean, Italian seasoning, your Cajun seasoning, and then once that's done, it's basically just roll them up about the size of large golf ball, and then I make a little seasoned flour here, and I just want to roll them around, get my grease nice and hot, which I'm sure it is. Probably need to turn a little.
I would say so.
And this really is just dropping them in.
Well, while you do that, Jason, go ahead and stir it on our pasta into the other pot. Get that going.
And with this, here's the next thing that I want to mention to you is that, you're using a lot of oil here, so we want to try and take some of that out. And the best way to do it is after you're done with this, again, you can just put it in the sauce if you want to after this. It's up to you, but I like to bake them in the oven after and take some of the grease out, but it still gives it that flavor.
Right.
You could actually just cook them in the oven if you really wanted to, and it may not give it as crispy of an outside.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's an option if you don't, if you're trying to
cut back,
or if cut back on time. You're just trying to, you get back home from work and you got the kids screaming and the husband or the wife crying and they hungry. You can just really quickly, And
like I said, this is I'll do this on a Saturday or Sunday. When I have the time to do it. Because as you know, it's not easy, with kids and work,
right.
to get all this done. Jason said you can't cut the time in half.
I mean, what's so special about this recipe, it actually came from a very Italian person. I mean,
yeah, he was actually, I think Dad was telling me that he actually came from Italy, and he was nice enough to take the time to show us how to do, this right. So I thought maybe a good idea to share this with everybody else.
No, I'm sure.
Next time you come, you have to bring Jimmy with you.
Oh, Dad. He's good at sampling. He can do that.
You don't have where did you get that crazy good palate at then?
Mom.
Must be.
Mom, pretty much spoiling him for years. We want to try and flip these over, Jason, as soon as we can. And again, like you don't want to cook it too long. It's a pat.
Get a little crust real quick.
Just to get a crust on it. And I have a tool here, maybe it might be better, Jason, to use. Gonna help you out with this.
Oh yeah, I forgot you had that.
Yeah, and they're not gonna go anywhere. You can kind of squeeze them and.
Look like some little boudin balls.
Yeah,
that's it. It really does.
And just to remind everybody at home that if you want to copy this recipe that Dave's doing for us today, you can find it on our website at kdcg.com.
Yes, sir.
And click on the What's Cooking Show and all the recipes. You can get everything we've done here on the show. And this is, I'm sure, going to be one of the top viewed things on there.
Sure, you want to grab us some more paper towels? Maybe drain them?
All right.
Put them on there, brother.
All right.
There we go.
Thanks, big guy.
Helps drain the grease a little bit.
Yeah, and here's the thing is that with a one-man operation doing this is something that you'd want to do one step at a time. You don't want to have all these things probably going at once.
The culinary term for that is called mise en place, which is a French term which means to have everything ready before you start. It means prep all your stuff before ahead of time. That way it's all there when you need it as you're cooking. There's no getting, chopping, gathering while you're cooking.
Now, the other thing that we can do that we still have time to do is we want to add the rest of the tomato sauce. I don't know if you put that in there.
I can take care of that for you.
And all this is here, and I put it together. And you get canned diced tomatoes, you get some tomato sauce, and you can get, I use real tomatoes.
Yeah.
We had some sitting in the refrigerator that my wife didn't use for the salad that we had left over.
Do you want to put it all in there, Dave? Or?
I put it all in there.
Okay.
Can't replace fresh.
And from that point right there, get all the acidity out. We'll go ahead and add a little bit of wine to it. And then from that point right there, we can taste it and see what it needs.
See what it needs and finish it off seasoning-wise to taste. That was real quick, Dave. I like
yeah,
that.
it's a
That
nice
was really-
hearty dish, too.
Yeah, and this is, it's just a really, like I try and do it less than a minute on each side and it's done.
And when coating it like you did, the way you did it, without battering it first and any kind of like milk batter,
Yeah.
it just gives it a really light, crunchy crust. And anyway, if you did it in a batter, it would give it a thicker crust, which you're not really looking for.
And you know,
Not in
the
this-
thing I like about it, Jason, is if you do it just in the oven, you can tell the difference. I find the next day, you go and cut the meatball, it's just a little bit tougher. Now, when you do it like this, it must preserve it a little bit more.
It seals it, maybe.
Keeps the moisture in.
Yeah, exactly. You cut through that and your fork just goes right through it. And it's great for a good po' boy the next
Oh,
day,
yeah.
which is a great thing, too.
I'm sure the sauce on that po' boy would be excellent, too.
Oh, yeah. And you see, I'm a big fan of as little as possible on
Yeah.
good French bread. You
Me
know?
too.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it comes in handy.
Okay, well, we're going to go ahead and take a short break, and we're going to be back to finish up our sauces and everything with Dave with DCG in just a couple of minutes. So join us back on more What's Cooking on What's Cooking Show.